It's hot in this office. AI is ruining programming, costing people jobs, and it's going to make developers completely irrelevant in the near future. Is an idea that I keep having to hear. What AI is actually doing is making working with clients a million times more frustrating than it's ever been before. Because what AI doesn't do right now is develop apps well. It doesn't program well. It doesn't architecture well. No, it doesn't. But you know what it is? It is an incredibly powerful tool for someone who actually knows what they're doing, and they'll get a lot of value out of learning how to use it. So today this has been making me mad for the last month now. So I just feel like I have to talk about it. So first things first, if you don't like AI because of what it does to art, because of that side of it, this video is not about that. I am purely talking about AI in the programming world because that's what I'm actually experienced in. I am the type of person where graphics don't matter to me, art doesn't matter to me. I have never in my life looked at a piece of art and felt anything. So I'm not talking about that. I'm not qualified to. You could smear something on the wall, you could show me the Mona Lisa, it's all the same. Okay? So first things first, if you hate AI because of that, you're valid for feeling that way. Let's talk about AI in programming. So first of all, there is such a big misconception about what AI actually does. AI at the moment doesn't actually generate anything. It doesn't create, right? It doesn't generate might be the wrong word. It does generate. It doesn't infer. It can't build on existing knowledge to make something new like a human can. Instead, what it does is it takes what already exists and it kind of makes a lump sum average of the existing things and gives that average to you. Think of it like an ultra optimized Google, right? When you ask the AI a question, it looks through every Google article that you could find, Google not being what it actually looks through, but it's a metaphor. It looks through every Google article you could find, and then it gives you the best possible answer, kind of sifting through all of that information for you. And it does so confidently, it does so in a very easy to digest manner, and it does so without any regard for if the information is right or wrong. It just gets the information, gives it to the person. So where does that leave it in programming? Well, what that means is it's actually incredibly good and helpful at making boilerplate code. And I'm going to keep this basic, so if you know what this is, I'm still going to explain it. Boilerplate code is code that you have to make for basically any project that you do because it's just so consistently required, right? Like a nav bar. You go to any website, it has some sort of way of navigating. It doesn't matter if it's left, right, up, or just like a drop-down bar if you're developing for phone. Every website will have something like that. So when you ask the AI, hey, can you generate this for me? It tends to get a very good result. Okay? But it doesn't give you a perfect result a lot of the time, and the dev side of it is that you will likely still have to do some work yourself in order to make it look exactly how you want. Or you'll have to ask the right questions to narrow down what it can do, and you'll slowly chip away at it. I think AI like that is fine. What you need to understand is the programming world is a place where every single year there's new innovations coming out that make this process easier. It was actually a big thing in the early 2000s when, how can I explain this non-technical? Okay, in the early 2000s, right? It used to be that in order to do anything on a computer, like design-wise, you basically had to paint by hand. You had to manually say, make this rectangle this much width, make it this tall. You had to go in and space out all of your navigation links inside of that bar. And that's how you'd make a nav bar. Well, in the 2000s, a framework called Bootstrap came out that got very popular. And what that did is it took that process from having to do it all by hand to developers could now just basically write a few lines of English and you'd have a pretty good looking nav bar. And there was a massive push at the time of people claiming that if you used frameworks to develop, such as Bootstrap, you weren't a real programmer. They said that you were taking away from the process of being a programmer, that you were worse than someone who did it manually. And they would always talk about how, okay, because you've done it this way, you're not as good as someone who does it a different way. They'd list out issues like, well, anything made with Bootstrap looks very generic. Fast forward 20 years, and frameworks are basically the industry standard. Anything that you're going to develop, you are probably going to use a framework, a library, somebody else's boilerplate code that you found on Reddit or Stack Overflow, and you took and you imported it into your project, right? Like, when it comes to the things that you do the most often, AI speeds it up a little bit, but you already, like, the way that people developed was you'd Google, you'd find what you needed, and you'd implement. And you'd do that as much as you could up until you got to the point where your project was niche enough that you had to start actually making your own solutions, because the more niche you go, the less likely it is that it's been done before. And I bring this up because this is exactly where AI fails right now, at this point in time. When you get to the point where you're actually building a project and you have to do the tasks that are very niche and custom built for you, AI will start struggling. And if you're not a developer, you're not going to be able to figure this out. Like, you're going to get stuck in this endless loop of AI repeatedly messing up things for you. And it's going to be very frustrating because you're not going to have the tools to actually get anywhere. Like, most recently, I was building a project on, like a little robot project where a sensor was going to look at something and report the data back to a dashboard that I made, okay? It couldn't figure out how to connect to the Ethernet so that it could access the internet, because connecting to Ethernet requires hard coding on these little robotic chip things. And it was because there wasn't any good documentation on... Am I getting too technical? And it was because there wasn't any good information on the way to do it. So in order to actually get this working, I couldn't rely on AI. Instead, I had to go search through documentation for the specific board I was going to use, see how the people who created it said I was supposed to do it, and then do it myself, right? Like, you still have to know how to program right now to program. AI is an amazing tool for the easy stuff. It speeds your workflow up massively. It doesn't do it for you. So why has this been so frustrating? Well, it's because clients nowadays like to come to you with a pre-built AI website, right? That basically it looks exactly how they want their website to look, which that's actually very helpful in general. But because, not knowing how something is supposed to look makes it really annoying to build it when, like I said, art to me doesn't exist. So they'll come to you with this really beautiful looking website, right? And they'll say, hey, I'd like to make this work. I used this AI tool. It's mostly done. And every time they tell me it's mostly done, I lose my mind because it's not. It's not mostly done. Unless you are fine with functionally a WordPress website looking the way that you want it to, which, some people are, it's not mostly done. The second that you're coming to me with a complex idea or a full application, and you've said, oh, look, it's mostly done. No, it doesn't have a back end. It doesn't have any of the stuff to actually link to that beautiful looking front end you just built. It's like 5% done. I may as well tape a picture to my monitor. My monitor's here. I may as well tape a picture to my monitor, for as helpful as that is in the overall flow of the thing. And the people want a massive discount, and I've got to nicely explain, no, the AI didn't mostly build a website for you at all. In fact, what you're showing me here is going to be really annoying to recreate, most likely. I mean, although ironically, AI is probably pretty good at recreating it, so you win some, you lose some. What I'm saying is, AI is a tool, and developers are people that if you want to stay on top of the industry, The way to use tools is that you look at the new big thing and you learn how to use it so that you know its strengths and weaknesses. Because this is such an emotionally charged topic, I feel like you only ever see the people where they absolutely adore AI or they hate AI on principle, and no one is talking about the fact that it's not actually that great at a lot of the stuff it's being marketed for. I'm ranting a little bit. It is a massive bubble right now, full of people being sold because of ignorance. AI cannot manage your business for you. AI is not a custom built solution for your business to grow. It doesn't make a great representative. It doesn't do any of that. You know what it's good at? It's good at being a chatbot that you give basic information to. But the second that you ask, yo, how could I build my business? You're going to get generic answers. They're not tailored for you. So all of these AI powered tools that are going to revolutionize how your business works and operates don't exist. If you want that, right now you can go ask ChatGPT, what can I do to build my business and brand? And you know, you will get just as good of an answer as you will if you go through somebody's crazy $100 subscription dashboard using AI. And it doesn't help, right? What got me really heated was actually Fireship, somebody who I've been watching on and off for years, made a video reporting on the fact that 95% of AI projects fail. No. 95% of AI being sold as a product, things are failing. And most of the time, according to this article that he's citing, it's not due to AI, it's due to poor implementation of AI or products that aren't actually leveraging AI in a way that's helpful. In terms of what it can do to speed up workflow in the programming industry, it is incredibly helpful, but it's also, as I said, situational. If you're not a programmer and you want to build a full product from scratch, right? AI is not going to do it for you. Or it's going to take you years, and honestly, you'll learn so much that you'll practically be a pseudo developer because you'll hit points throughout the project where the AI cannot help you. And what you need to do then is stop trying to brute force it, stop trying to make it generate code. Instead, you ask it, hey, you're not helping. How would a developer solve this issue? Because I know this is possible. And you know what it's going to do? It's going to point you at the documentation for whatever system or software you're trying to use. And that's the other thing. AI is terrible, and I mean terrible right now, at designing architecture. This is getting into the realm of too technical. Okay. AI is terrible right now at actually picking what software to use to build your application, because it tends to go with whatever the most popular things are. Do you know the problem with the tech industry right now? It's that the most popular things often require constant upkeep. Like React and Node.js, okay, just to name two. If you build a project using those two things on AI's suggestion, and you're a small business, what you don't know is that you've likely just taken on constant maintenance fees because these softwares are famous for requiring constant upkeep. I think second only to Angular. I don't even know if Angular is used anymore, honestly. I've not had somebody request it in a hot minute. Look, what I'm saying is, AI is revolutionary. It is the next big tool, but it isn't self-learning. It isn't a magic bullet. It has numerous weaknesses to it. It doesn't replace a developer. But if you're a developer and you're refusing to use AI on principle, I think that you remind me of the people who refused to use frameworks back in the day because of the fact that, oh, it's not real programming. It's a tool. Learn it, use it, and also keep up to date on your own skills so that when the tool fails you, you're not helpless. That's how programming has always been. That's how it will continue to be, because computers are evolving every single year. The AI hype train is likely to die down as businesses realize that AI can't create a good product. You need to have a good product and then implement AI into it smartly if you want to use it at all. But it's still going to have irreparably changed the programming landscape, changed how people develop. It has made solo developers more prolific than ever because a lot of the boilerplate stuff that used to take multiple hours is now taking like one. To write that off is stupid. You can hate AI, you can dislike AI, you can call it a crutch, and people use it as a crutch, but to not learn it is ignorant. It honestly reminds me of a doctor refusing to go restudy and learn the new thing in medicine because he likes the old ways, or he thinks the old ways are more skilled, right? It's not the place for it. Learn it. That said, AI is likely going to continue to be the single most annoying thing that I have to deal with because every time I work with somebody new, I have to re-explain exactly what it is, its limitations, how it works, and no, your website is not half done. You're trying to make an industry-leading management tool and you've got a front end. That's not helpful to me. And of course, I have to explain it a little bit nicer because when I'm not ranting to myself, you have to be a little bit more professional. Anyway, this is a one-off video. I hope you got something from this. This has been my rant. If you're an artist and AI has ruined your entire industry, I apologize. But, yeah, I'm glad I got that out of my system. And now, for a complete pivot 180, I'm gonna make my next video about Marvel Rivals. That's coming out Sunday. I'm going on a vacation now. And, yeah, until next time, see ya.